Born to Ride Radio.
I was born to live, live to ride, ride to live. I was born to ride. American built, we forever unite, and that's the deal. I was born to ride.
This is Boss Hogg Radio, home of Born to Ride Radio.
Born to Ride is sponsored in part by Rubenstein Law, 1-800-FL-LEGAL, representing riders since 1988. Offices throughout Florida, 1-800-FL-LEGAL.
Everyone was right, I was born to ride.
Born to Ride is a multimedia marketing and promotional machine with TV, magazines, streaming radio, and internet advertising opportunities. There are tens of thousands of motorcycles. We reach the people who ride them. Born to Ride. Find out more at borntoride.com.
This is Boss Hogg Radio, home of Born to Ride Radio. You can join the motorcycle enthusiast conversation by calling 863-225-2000.
That's right, folks. We do welcome audience participation. I'm Fester Jenkins. Mama Dukes isn't in the studio this evening. In the studio, though, we do have Rob from R&R.
Thank you.
Okay, we've got Skylar. Welcome, Skylar.
Hello.
Okay.
I don't get a Skylar from FTW.
Skylar from FTW. Okay, well, you know.
I'm official.
Joe's got to coach me, I guess, a little bit on that. And, of course, DB's in the studio here. We're operating the Facebook Live for us. We are doing Facebook Live, as we typically do here. I want to start it off by saying thank you to Rubenstein Law. Without them being a contributor here, this would not be possible. 1-800-FL Legal, Rubenstein Law. They fight for you, representing riders, excuse me, since 1988.
www.fightforyou.com.
Yep, there you go. Now, we've got all the legal stuff taken care of and out of the way. And it's another Thursday evening edition of Born to Ride Radio on the Boss Hogg Radio Network. Again, like we introduced Rob earlier from R&R, years past, you worked with Easy Riders.
Well, we raced with these riders.
Okay.
And what it was is I raced my own team. I started with Tampa Bay Ray. I ended up with Gary Friel and some other people. So I was in it for 8 years, hands-on. And then I got out of it completely. And then 18 years later, they called me up and asked me if I wanted to be the field boss again. So 2 years ago, I took over that job again. So I'm tied up with that. And it's been rodeos are great. You know, I've been doing it all my life. And it's a lot of fun. They'll find out July 24th.
I was about to say, are you going to be doing the rodeo on July 24th?
Yep, I'm going to be running the show out on the field, and I also got 2 trikes I'm bringing in and a couple of solo bikes to pull with. So I'm going to let some friends and guests pull on the trike.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
Yeah, and I'm also going to run it down the track a couple times because it's a lot of fun.
Well, and this evening we're going to talk about a little bit more about that Great American Moto Fest, where motorcycles, custom rods, trucks, vans, just anything that's got wheels on it.
I think there's going to be a shortage of snowmobiles.
Okay, shortage of
Shortage of snowmobiles in Florida?
July 20.
That's crazy.
Yep.
It could happen.
I'm thinking July 24th. Yeah, there probably will not be many snowmobiles there. But
I mean, when was the last time it snowed here?
now we possibly are going to have some bar stools with some wheels on them too, right?
Well, I'm trying to work something out. That's the expensive side of a rodeo. And then again, who gets to ride them? You know, what kind of money comes in and out. So that gets festive, and it really needs to be, it really needs to be a tight situation. So I'm not sure if for the first rodeo people are ready to just jump out there and say, "Here's $20, let me go around there for 4 or 8 laps and see what happens." So we're not sure about the bar stools yet, but we got a complete show coming, and it'll be a full day.
That'll be awesome. That'll be so cool to see.
Yeah,
I've never seen a motorcycle rodeo. I've never seen anything like that.
Well, the most common thing to the horses is the barrel race. And we set the barrels up the same as they do the horses. And the really good guys on the bikes, they're right there exactly with the world championship pulling. I mean, the barrel racers with the horses,
Wow.
which is like 15.5, 15.6 for a barrel race. And we go by that size, so we got something to compare it to.
With a full dresser, right?
No.
I mean, there is a reason they call them steel horses.
It might even be a Sportster.
Okay. Now, are you going to allow someone on a dresser to try it if they want to?
Oh yeah. This is an invitational event, especially because it's the first one. We want people to come out and feel comfortable trying to do some stuff in the rodeo. We're going to set the sled puller up to where it's real light. We're going to have like a 800, 1,000, 1,200 pound class bike, so you can come up with your street bike and we got some weight for you. We'll strap it to the back of the bike, and you get a chance to pull the sled. And we can adjust the sled as much as we want, so we can make it easy, we can make it real hard. We'll make it easy so everybody gets a chance to feel how it is, and if they want to come back a second or third round, we can tighten it up a little bit more, and we can stop them wherever we want if we have to.
Well, that's awesome.
So cool.
Yeah.
Now, with you working with Easy Rider and doing the rodeos and things like that, speaking of Easy Rider, we've got Dave Nichols, our
Dave.
very own Born to Ride editor, who did a number of years with Easy Rider. Correct, Dave?
I did. In fact, I have a great story about Rob.
Okay.
I'm excited.
I do.
Give us the dirt. Give us the dirt,
Well,
Dave. Dirty
I
Dave.
want you to imagine this. Imagine that you go to an Easy Riders bike show, the wonderful custom bike shows that we used to do, and you walk in and there's hundreds of bikes to look at, beautiful choppers and stuff, right? But then you see over here in this giant hall, there's a thing that looks like someone picked up a garage and put it inside this big building, and it's got like a little A-frame, and it's got all this old memorabilia inside and old oil cans, and there's magazine memorabilia all over the walls. And there's Rob working on 2 iconic motorcycles. This is when we wanted to restore the Captain America and Billy Choppers from Easy Rider, the movie.
Wow.
And so you could actually walk up to Rob, who would have, something like, he'd have the outer primary off of one of the bikes, and his hands are all full of oil and grease, and he's trying to and you could walk up and go, "Hey, what you doing?" and he'd stop and talk to you and tell you all about the project and how he completely restored these bikes so they would be ready to take on the road for the motorcycle rodeos and the bike shows and all that stuff. And man, that was a cool deal.
That was the best job I ever had.
And man, I don't know how many people you talk to on a weekend, Rob, but man, that was cool to see those iconic choppers, and you had them all apart, and you're tinkering on them and putting them back together.
Yep, we
That
took
was
the
really
transmissions out of them the first weekend because the transmissions were both locked up. Then we started taking the engine apart at the second bike show. The third bike show, we had all the parts to put everything back together. And the fourth bike show, the carburetors and stuff like that showed up, but we still didn't get tires and wheels and batteries. So that kind of was the handicap for us. But we fired them babies up on the last day of the bike show.
That is so cool.
And I tell you what, take a look at that Captain America bike and see where them pipes are pointing. Anyway, I didn't realize there was 10 years of rust in them pipes. And the Chicano Road was right behind the bike, by my garage. And when I fired that bike up, when it finally took off, it sent a cloud of rust up into the air. I was embarrassed. I wasn't going to go over and say, hey, look what I did. I just I hope nobody notices. But they fired up on that last show. It was a great time for me. It was a big deal.
Yeah, that was incredible. And then, of course, Rob was, running around for years at the Easy Riders rodeos. And you talk about Gary Friel and Tampa Bay Ray and some of these guys that he mentioned, they were legendary. These are people that put their life on hold for months out of the year and would go all over the country whenever we had one of those rodeos. And I'll tell you, I hope that they do it again. I keep hearing rumors that they're going to try, but in the meanwhile, by God, we're going to do a Born to Ride version.
We're gonna knock it out of the park.
Absolutely.
I got two of my trikes. We got one at Tampa Bay Racetrack, so there'll be 3 trikes there for sure. And this is a real early count. But we're setting the bikes up for solo pullers and stuff like that. So we're going to put on a real good show for them. And Tampa Bay Ray, he lives across the pond, or lives across the other side on the East Coast. He'll be here for the rodeo also. So we'll have his trike. I don't think he's going to be riding it, but it'll be here, and you get to see Ray and his top hat. He's probably got to be the most popular motorcycle man in the world. I compare him to John Wayne in the Westerns. Wow. That's how cool he is.
From what I'm hearing, people are really excited about.
He can pull into a gas station in the middle of nowhere and people recognize him and want his autograph. And I seen it. It's like, holy crap, man! This guy, he's got it. He was just the guy. He was happy to be. He was happy to go, and he was the rumor. The rumor was that to see Ray, you got to go to the campground in the back of the rodeo park because he's camping out back. That's where he lives.
Mm-hmm.
From what I'm hearing, people are really excited about this rodeo and this Motorfest because I've had people messaging me that they would be coming from Mississippi, from Alabama, from all these different areas to come here to Plant City just to see all of this. So it's going to be huge. It's going to be great.
Well, the whole day is going to be so entertaining because there's somewhere over 200 street rods, hot rods, trucks, whatever you want to call them, that are going to be here also. So it's not just motorcycle rodeo. It's going to be a complete day of all kinds of stuff.
Actually, we were out on the ranch today, the boss and I, and we were trying to pick out where are we going to pour the concrete for the burnouts.
Oh, for the burnout
for the burnouts, for the rods there and everything. Yeah. And I imagine...
Downwind.
Right? Yeah.
But we don't know which way that forecast is going to be there. That's for sure. Yeah. But... no, and I was telling him, I said, well, we've got to have some way to protect it, and then we were looking at the fence line over there. Well, that would kind of keep people off from that side. But, I said, boss, I said, I know what they gave us the minimum. I said, but I've been at some of these burnouts, and these cars, until that rubber gets warm, they're moving around side to side a little bit, and getting a little crazy.
Yeah.
But looking forward to that. We'll definitely have it set up also where if somebody wants to get a little crazy with a motorcycle, they can. We'll have a barricade there that they can pull up to, and
I have no time. I mean, I have no problem watching people ruin their stuff.
Yes.
Come on, dude, do a little bit more. Put it in next year. Come on.
Yeah.
Right. That's how we make our money.
I think you can get 7,500 RPM.
I will tell you, over at Roosters a few months ago, we were there for it, and we're sitting there, we're watching the burnouts. DB. I mean, and this beautiful. It's redone Chevelle, okay, 442, okay. I mean, this thing's probably easily $80,000, okay, and he's getting in line, and the people are talking, what is this guy? And and he's backing it down there, and people are just shaking their head. What if that tire? What is he doing? What is he thinking? And he lit it up and got it burning, got it smoking, but he let off and then just pulled out, So I guess he knew what he was doing, but I mean, we were just wondering, was he going to burn them until they blew the tire on that thing?
Wow. Yeah, I couldn't do that myself. As an engine builder, there's nothing wrong with doing a burnout. People say, oh, you're tearing your stuff up. Once that tire's spinning, it doesn't matter if it's sitting still, if it's going 60 miles an hour, it's spinning. As long as it ain't herky-jerky, Burnouts are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Smartest thing I ever saw at Angel City.
Show
They
off
had
July 24th.
at Angel City. They had a tire vendor set up right next to the burnout pit, and I was like, "That's just genius."
Oh yeah,
that is so smart.
Dunlop had a big semi trailer there, ready to just do tire changes there.
Yeah.
Burn off one pair, put on another.
Yeah.
Yep.
But then, the best part is the guy that does it. He thinks that's the greatest day of his life because he's got a crowd of people that are just loving it.
Yeah.
And I'm from the old school, let the clutch out and go.
Yeah.
We don't want no anchor. That's what sled pulls are.
Dave,
Well,
I imagine you've witnessed a few burnouts, right?
Oh my God! Yeah, yeah. We would have somebody like Mike Lichter completely black by the end of the day because he's in there trying to take pictures of all this stuff. And poor Michael. And we had a guy named Mickey Halper that did all our videos. And Mickey had a voice like this. He sounded like he was gargling glass. And he was highly allergic to that smoke. And he would get sick as a dog after about 10 minutes, so we couldn't have him in there. But yeah, what it brings to mind is down there in Florida at the Iron Horse, where they've got burnout pits right there, and they're always smoking them at night, and it is pretty darn cool, it really is. But I was talking to Ron today about, maybe there's some little giveaway stuff that we could have at this event. And one of the things we could do is call up our friends at Metal Sport. They're proud sponsors of Born to Ride, and they also are part of V-Rubber. And so we might be able to get some free tires.
Ooh. Well, that
might be a good...
That's an incentive.
That's an incentive, yes. I mean, especially someone that's it's getting a little bit of wear. I'm probably looking at, in the next 5,000 miles having to put on a new set of tires anyway. Hey, why not get out there and just go for it?
500-mile special.
Yeah.
I don't want to be out here too long. That new tire could take forever. When's this going to be over?
Yeah. Yeah, some of those, they light up, and, in other words, it's just, you can hear it, it's still going, but, you haven't seen anything for 3 or 4 minutes, DB. It's just the whole place, even the audience, in other words, you look around to each other, and you have to reach out, yeah, they're still there.
Wow. And if your girlfriend's been there for the first time, she's going to say, what's all this black stuff on me? Yeah. That's good, you're rubber.
Yeah, what's that smell?
Yeah.
Well, when they were having them bike shows with Easy Riders, them boys got out there and showed who built the engine, too. They had some smoke downs out in the parking lot of them places.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Billy Lane, I'll show you what I got. Let's see what happens.
Well, now, Rob, okay, so give us a rundown of kind of what you're thinking from the activities of the rodeo, how that's going to go.
Well, probably we got a sled coming in from Zellwood, Florida. It's the Antique Florida Sled Pullers. Now, this is this transfer sled that has somebody that rides on it. It has a gear-driven box to drive it back to the starting line after we pull with it. But there's somebody on it that's a brakeman, so it's real safe. But we can adjust it for a small motorcycle all the way up to a 300 horsepower tractor. And we might have some tractors here also. Probably, I told the guys instead of about 6 to 8 tractors would be fine.
Yeah.
The garden variety with some small Hemis in it,
right?
Like that. But we're gonna start at 9:00 or something like that, and then we're gonna practice. And then later that afternoon we'll start the show and we'll do 2 rounds. And then at the end of the day, if there's some more people who want to pull or whatever, we'll just line them up and let them keep going until it gets dark.
Okay, but so it's going.
We're also having a Just for Kicks contest. We're doing, which is really a cool contest now because all the young Sportster guys all got Kickstarters on their bike and they think Grandpa's a punk now.
Okay.
It's like, wait a minute, son. I kicked my pan head. So the Kickstart contest is really fun to see. We'll do the barrel races, which is real entertaining because anybody with a sport bike can come out and play and do that. I think Roscoe's going to be here with his outhouses, so you can do
I've heard
pulling.
that outhouse pulling. Yep.
That's a good rumor. But we're going to try to entertain everybody. When we take a break, that's when the car guys will be giving out trophies, and the bike show MCs and all that will go on. As soon as that's done, we'll go to a final round, probably like 4 or 5 o'clock, and then finish out the afternoon with the bike show, with the rodeo. And then, like I said, if people want to come out and practice or play or whatever, we'll let them go out there and try.
Now, what are some of the events in the rodeo? We talked about the barrel racing.
Well,
but,
we're gonna do the weenie bite because everybody seems to like the weenie bite contest.
Okay.
We're doing a keg push. We're gonna make it where if the keg goes crazy, the guy don't have to get off the bike and chase it. We'll have somebody that can line it up for him because we're looking for new people. So come out and try. Don't be bashful. If you want some help with trying to get something set up to pull, a solo bike's real easy. All you need is the chain drive because belts don't last very long, and a carved up tire. So you can take an old Goodyear tire, the old Dunlop tire, and carve it up to put it on the dirt. And I can help you guys with anything like that. The smaller shops, the Harley shops, anybody who wants to get involved, we want you to come out here and try to practice, try to pull, and like I said. We'll keep the games going.
Okay.
As long as people are in line.
Now, I have a question for you.
Slow race too.
I've been to a few actual rodeos. I've never been to a motorcycle rodeo before. Now, in some of these rodeos I've been to, at the end of the night, or maybe before the actual bull riding starts, I can't remember exactly, a few choice gentlemen go out and play poker while a wild bull runs inside the arena, and whoever's left at the table wins. Now, are we going to have men out there playing poker while someone drives around them with a motorcycle?
My friends think that's stupid. Well, they've seen me with a flare gun. They're not getting out there.
Fortunately, I can't say that.
Well, what about doing my old man's home? That's always a fun one.
And which one is that?
That's okay. Here's what you got to do. You got to have a mattress on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
There's a guy with usually 2 girls trying to hold him down, and when they blow the horn, he's got to get up, he's got to put on his pants and boots, he's got to leap through a window and get on his motorcycle, and then he has to ride it, 100 feet or something.
Yeah, 20 feet.
And
Sounds like my Saturday night.
Yeah, a typical Saturday night.
I'm enjoying that. I think that's great, Dave.
I like it. Now we're going to have to practice taking our pants off. Come on. I think that'd be a great game for some guys.
Oh yes.
Because we're trying to do something where they don't have to get in the dirt because a lot of the guys with the newer bikes, they got 150, 160 horsepower, but they don't want to go out in the dirt and spin it around. So we're going to have a couple games they can play on the pavement.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan there, no doubt.
No doubt, because they'll all try something if it's easy.
Yeah.
Get them started.
So basically, it's a game to practice your infidelity. Is that what we're going with? Putting your clothes back on, jumping through a window,
Or when
getting
our
out
parents
before
come
you
home.
get shot.
And hey, how about like the the one we used to do with the water balloon, where the girl's on the back of the bike and she just has to throw the water balloon over a railing and catch it.
That is the most perfect game because everybody will try that. Especially on July 24th. I'll take that. And then like, the water balloons are hot. But yeah, that sounds good.
We can keep them in a iced barrel with water and everything.
Yeah.
Well, that's the stage show. Yeah, we can't use that ice water until tonight.
Hey, Rob, can you do the slow race?
Oh yeah, the slow race will be there too. I got a list of stuff over here, but I just can't read right now. But, yeah, we're gonna have the whole lineup of games. And again, the balloon deal is like perfect because your average guy with a bike and a girlfriend, he can do that without any problem. The only thing that's going to happen is his bike's going to get wet,
right?
Or he might win,
right?
Yeah,
he might go home in love, or go home alone. It's a motorcycle.
Do you guys know about the? There's one called the potato in a haystack. Do you know about that one?
Yep.
Never
What
heard
is
of that.
Okay, here's what they do. They take apart a bale of hay, right, and they spread it out, right? And so on the back of each bike, let's say there's 7, 8 bikes that are going in a circle around the hay bale that's spread out on the ground, right? So when you blow the horn, the ladies on the back of the bikes jump off the bikes, dive into the hay, and there's one potato in there. And they got to find it and get out of there and get back on the bike. And it's mayhem. Let me tell you, it sounds like, oh,
that sounds like so much fun.
I was just gonna say you're ideal for that. It's a scrappers round.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is, because the girls get in there, and the deal is, oh well, you're not safe.
Can
with
we
the
throw
potato.
blows?
Well, you're not safe with the potato until you're out of the circle. And a couple of them girls that were newcomers, they stood there in the middle of the circle and held up their hand with a potato.
And then got tackled, I would imagine.
The other girls got basketballs. It's like, come on, man. You're too easy. And it's like, that's not fair. It's like, yes, it is.
No, you throw that thing in your
Read
shirt
the
and you
rule
hide
book.
it. You're like, I don't even know what's going on.
That is a good game, because, again, nobody's, it's just you ride around in a circle, honk the horn, girls get out there and play in the hay.
Yeah.
The only, except for that one time that we had that girl that we didn't know that she was actually nuts, and she bit the hell out of another girl to get the potato.
Well, before we knew she was nuts, we signed her up for the trophy contest the next day. So Sunday morning we're having a meeting. What are we going to do about this crazy girl? She showed up naked and wanted to be a trophy girl. It's like, well, get the water hose, whatever it takes. She's not going out on the track.
Oh my!
But
Lord.
the Saturday night show, she was hitting it hard. Crazy people.
Yep.
You gotta love them.
You're not going to have a trophy girl contest, are you, Rob?
No, I don't think so. I think since it's a one-day event, we're not going to get into the politics of that stuff.
Yeah.
We'd have to have a beer sponsor for that, or maybe a local bar sponsor.
Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Yep.
Yeah. Go to the bar and have the trophy girl contest.
Not a bad idea. We might be able to do something like that.
Yeah.
You know what would be cool is the top 3 riders or top 3 cowboys, if instead of having like a trophy or something like that, it'd be cool to have belt buckles like we did back in the day.
That would be really cool.
It's like a cool biker belt buckle that's like, first, second, third.
That would be cool. We call it the top cowboy.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
the rodeo theme, that's
right,
perfect. Yeah.
At the end of the day, because almost everybody competed in all the games.
And that would be really something. You're talking about the first annual Born to Ride Great American Moto Fest.
A cool ass buzz ball.
Yep. Absolutely.
At least 8 inches by 6.
Yeah.
Anything smaller just wouldn't matter.
Got to be audacious there.
I got 3 of them
It's got to be about the size of one of those WWE belts,
Well, you see, they're giving them out at the drag races now. They're doing the king of the track deal, and these are the state. There's not gold on them, but they're beautiful belt buckles. 12 inches tall, and they're pretty proud of that.
Do they go with a nice clutch?
Well, you got to win the race first of all, so you better have a backup clutch.
Oh no. Hey, we're coming close to the bottom of the hour. And before we go to commercial, didn't you have an announcement that you needed to?
So y'all know that I don't really ride. I went for my endorsement this week. And unfortunately, I was unable to get it because I had a knee injury that acted up. But Brandon Harley was so amazing with their program. In order to get your endorsement, their little Learn to Ride program, they worked with me immediately as soon as I was like, listen, guys, I'm hurting. I can't do it. And they rescheduled me for another one. They made sure that everything was taken care of. They were fantastic. So if you were looking to get your endorsement, I highly recommend Harley Davidson's program. Highly recommend it. So.
Well, yeah, I know they strongly. I've been on motorcycles all my life. And I took the course because I hadn't been riding for a number of years. And, of course, Florida was saying, hey, you got to have a motorcycle endorsement. But it is. I mean, you've got a lot of good things that you can still pick up. Even if you've ridden all your life, there are some pointers that,
they have classes
can help
for
you.
Everyone. They have classes for beginners, advanced, and then they have the ultimate classes that even the instructors have a hard time with from what I've been hearing. So, definitely go out there and check out some of the courses that they offer. It's well worth it.
You're listening to Born to Ride Radio on the Boss Hogg Radio Network. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back with part 2.
The big pull down.
Check out the all-new BornToRide.com with radio, TV, industry, adventure, events, magazine, social media, and much more. It's the all-new BornToRide.com.
Hi, I'm attorney Robert Rubenstein, and this is Rubenstein's Rules for Personal Injury. Rule number 1, get an attorney. When you or a loved one have been injured by another's negligence, an experienced attorney can make a huge difference. At Rubenstein Law, we will find all of the insurance, make sure your injuries are documented, and work to get you the best result. While each case is different, a well-known insurance company's own study showed people with a lawyer on average got more money. Call Rubenstein Law at 1-800-FL-LEGAL.
Find us on Facebook, Born to Ride TV and magazine, the ultimate multimedia biker experience.
You can join the motorcycle enthusiast conversation at 863-225-2000. Now, here's more of your hosts, Fester Jenkins and Mama Dukes on Born to Ride Radio.
Welcome back to this Thursday edition of Born to Ride Radio. I'm Fester Jenkins. Mama Dukes isn't here this evening, but we do have Dave Nichols on the line. Dave, are you still there?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, welcome back. DB's in the studio operating the Facebook Live and giving us commentary from a non-rider perspective. You've been on a dirt bike once in your life, right?
Yes,
if I understand.
absolutely,
okay.
yes.
And that broke you from sucking eggs.
It cured me.
Okay.
It cured me real quick.
And we've got Skylar from FTW in the studio.
Woohoo!
And, of course, Rob from R&R. One of the Easy Rider rodeo guys from years past, and is going to be setting up this one that's going to be happening July 24th here at the Boss Hogg Ranch here in Plant City. Born to Ride is going to be putting on the first annual of the Great American Moto Fest there. Welcome back, Rob.
Thank you. My phone was ringing. I'm really important at night. It was the wrong number.
Okay.
Make sure you pick up the milk and bread on your way home.
There's 13 kinds of corn, honey. No. This is going to be a great event. Not only is it a rodeo, there's all kinds of other stuff. We got a bike show going on. It'll be a great day. You have to, come out and bring your kids along. And by the time you walk from one end to the other, you'll have a full day in. Because we're going to bring some entertainment.
Nice.
That should be awesome. I'm so excited for this one. I'm so excited.
Now, is there a band, Rob? Is there any live music happening?
Ronnie's got something set up because we talked about the other day. He's talking about where to put the band stage. So I know there's some music showing up, but I'm not sure who it'll be.
I know we had a meeting with them Tuesday morning, and that's definitely the plan, but nothing's been locked down yet.
Nothing's been written down.
From that standpoint.
Maybe we can get Nasty Savage kind of cheap.
I don't see why we
but will the Unchained Angel show up?
A lot of people don't remember that back in the day when Ronnie had the Born to Ride down in Ybor City. We were partying down there.
After the meeting was done Tuesday, he pulled out his phone and he was showing me some photos. I mean, and Ron was thin at one time, whenever
he was a good-looking guy.
When he was, doing nasty.
He's still pretty. But
he was nasty savage back then. I got a picture of him at Hooters with like 20 girls surrounding him on the bike that I built the engine for him when he first started out with the show. That was really cool.
Dave, you got anything you want to throw out there right now, or?
Well, I'm serious. I think that we ought to see if we can find somebody who is does motorcycle jewelry or something like that, and try to get these belt buckles. I think that would be really wouldn't that be an honor if you were one of the top 3 cowboys?
Oh, sure.
I think so. I think that's an awesome idea.
And my point at the beginning was, since it's an invitational, we really don't have a rule book or anything to go by, but we will have weight classes no matter what. So we could figure something like that out.
Yeah. I don't know. It's because Ron was saying, is there anything we could get as a giveaway? And it's it's a little different doing a rodeo event than it is if it's more like when we were doing the Choppertown Live thing, where it's a bike show. Yep. And I know you're going to have a ride-in bike show,
yep,
but it's a little bit different. You can't really go to a big advertiser or something like that and say, can I get this? Can I get that? It's
that's
it's
hard.
a little bit different.
Yeah,
It's
so
harder.
Much. Yep. That's a great idea. I think that, like I don't know. We'll have to figure that out because it comes back down to now who's got the biggest strike and who pulls the farthest. Now it's a race again because I want that damn belt buckle too. I don't want to help the guy now. Oh no, you look good. Just run it like that. I just wanted to, this time. But that's a great idea, and also a participation shirt. I think would really be cool. Somebody that
T-shirts.
A T-shirt that I was at the first annual, and I tried.
I tried.
That would be perfect. Just
get like a really low quality graphic of a star, and it just says you tried.
The trophy could be I tried the hardest, I tried the second hardest, and I tried the third hardest. We'll let you take care of that, Dave.
I like it.
That's a great idea. The participation shirt. When I was a young kid. Just a couple of weeks ago, the Just for Kicks contest was big, and I'd never seen it in person, but I'd seen it in the magazines, and I thought, man, I want that pin, and it was all about the pin. So I asked the guy, how many times you got to start your bike in a minute to get that pin? He says, you don't even have to start it, you just have to try. So I wanted that pin, and I got it, because it was the participation pin, and cool as hell. So
that's awesome.
I think that's
ideas.
a great idea.
Yeah. Well, Dave, we've got Nefarious James on the line here. I'm going to bring him into the conversation here if he's still there. Oh, and I've cut off Dave. Dadgummit, I'm sorry. Dave, call back. James, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. How y'all doing?
Just fine. Okay. Hopefully Dave's going to call back. I've got you locked on. If he answers, I'll be able to bring him back on. I've got DB in the studio. I've got Rob from R&R and Skylar from FTW. Welcome to the show this evening.
Yes. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
What's going on?
Nothing. I'm just sitting here out in the backyard avoiding the rain, just kick back and have a couple cigarettes, and I was listening to the show.
Okay.
So that's on it.
I know Dave was telling us last week. In fact, hold on just a second here. Let me see if I can get Dave back on. Dave?
I'm back.
Okay, my fault.
We missed you.
My fault. My bad.
Thank you.
I had one job today to operate the board, and clearly I failed there. We've got Nefarious James on the line with you, Dave, and I know last week you were talking about the article where he had one set up and then it went a completely different way. I'm going to let you take the floor for a moment here.
Cool. Well, I just want to thank you, James, first of all, for writing every month coming up with something cool to say to people. But what was really particularly cool about this one is, as I was explaining to people last week, you had already had an article ready to go, and then you had a close friend die in a motorcycle accident where somebody was, sounded like a car probably hit him, and the guy was, who knows, texting or some stupid thing. And so the whole point of view of that article was, it's time, people. We got to get serious about this. We've all heard this happen a million times, but what can we do? Come on. We need to do something. And so, Ron and Deb had come up with this Think Motorcycle thing with Rubenstein Law, and it's not the whole answer, but it's certainly something. And I thought, well, that's cool. That's good. They're trying to do something. But the bigger picture is that it's time for this stuff to just stop happening to good people, who are just trying to ride their motorcycle. So, first of all, hats off to you. And I was wondering if you could fill us in a little bit about that article.
Yeah, I could do that. I appreciate the kudos there. But unfortunately, for the reason why it had to be written in the first place is really unfortunate. But it seems to be a daily event. It's just most of them aren't reported. But as we all notice, going everywhere we end up going, there are more and more of them little crosses and markers being put on the side of the road, and that really doesn't tell the whole story about what happened at that location. And it's just getting to a point now. Well, it's been going on, but it's getting more prevalent because we're seeing more and more of it, more and more of these markers, more and more of these people getting run over. And a lot of it's over avoidable stuff. I'm not saying all of it's avoidable. By design, riding a motorcycle is going to be dangerous to a point anyway. and the thing that's good also, just to throw one out there, these games are actually a help for these riders, because it gets them to think about, well, maybe I need to practice a little more. Maybe I need to end up figuring out how to operate that machine a little bit better and be more aware. And an easy way of education is, well, these games. It helps them develop a skill set that they're not normally going to think about using. But believe it or not, it is definitely a need. I mean, I think they say one of the most common maneuvers for getting, everybody always, I'll lay it down. I'll hit the brakes. I'll do it. Well, sometimes swerving is, a skill that a lot of people don't practice. Running over an obstacle, a board isn't something a lot of people practice, but they can save your life. But one of the big things is getting these people who are in their cars to be a little bit more aware that we're around. And unfortunately with texting's a big problem. The law didn't make it any better when they end up saying, texting and driving is now illegal. Now instead of holding it up over their steering wheel and looking at it, they're looking down at their lap to try to read it. So, there are things that we can end up helping to educate people to try to get them to be more aware.
Yeah,
what was your friend's name?
Yeah, and this thing that Ron and Deb came up with, Think Motorcycle, because there are and have been programs where we try to get people who ride to be aware, and there have been programs where we try to get people who don't ride to be aware that there are bikers out there on the road. And there's even been programs, mostly from motorcycle companies, trying to get people who don't ride interested in riding. And the idea with this thing is it does all of those things. And it's a kind of a grassroots movement, but with, someone like Rubenstein Law putting money into creating videos and billboards and whatever it takes just to get the word out, just to get the message out, And so that was a step in the right direction, I guess you'd say.
Well, I would agree. Everything's got to start from somewhere. I mean, there are other organizations that try to do the education program and do videos and do safety classes, for schools and so on and so forth. But in order to be able to make those programs work, you have to get people to actually watch them and actually participate in them.
Yeah.
I mean, the billboard thing, I think, is a great start. Everybody's going to read them regardless. They're looking at palm trees and looking everywhere but the road anyway. A big billboard sitting there saying, hey, how about looking around? Another idea came around a long time ago is, just things to get kids started into looking out for them also. Remember the game, what was it, Punch Buggy?
Mm-hmm. Yep, yeah. Punch Buggies.
Yeah, so why not do a version of the game of where it's now like every time you see a motorcycle, if you do it on the Punch Buggy thing, so kids start getting involved and looking around, and then now they're yelling in the backseat, motorcycle, and hitting the brothers, and not advocating the kids beating each other up in the back seat, but it's something to get them to start getting involved, maybe help get the parent who's in the front now start getting annoyed. Now they're looking because now they're getting involved too.
Well, that was something that my brother and I did, most definitely.
Punch buggy?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I'm buying one right now, so, I expect you all, as soon as I pull in, start punching each other.
Okay.
My buddies hated me because we're in high school and we're pulling along, listening to a kick-ass song, and I reached out and turned the stereo down when a Harley would come by to listen to the bike. My buddy still says, "You son of a bitch! I can't believe you did that all the time." It's like, hey man, it's a Harley. I want to hear it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a cool thing because you just got to notice them. People don't bring it up, and again, showing the kids how to do it.
I never noticed how many motorcycles there were until I started working on motorcycles. Until I started actually noticing, going to events and everything else. Now I'm like, oh my God, there's so many motorcycles everywhere. It's kind of like if you're looking for a blue car, you see a million blue cars, but as soon as you start looking for a red car, you see a million red cars, and you don't see the blue cars anymore. But that was a weird thing for me. As soon as I started working with motorcycles and doing events and everything else, I just started noticing how many there are. They're everywhere. Absolutely everywhere.
Yep. I mean, that was one of the reasons that we would always have, besides the fact that it sounds really cool, we'd have the loudest pipes we could so people would hear us coming, because you always hear it. How many millions of times have you heard, "Oh, I didn't see him, officer."
Loud pipes save lives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, it helps at least.
It does.
Makes my life better.
That's one of the reasons on my belt chopper, I don't have it going backwards. I have it going off to the right there. I mean, if I'm right up beside somebody in their blind spot, they are still hearing me. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm over here.
Yep.
I don't like those little electric bikes that are real quiet. Those are scary.
Scary fast and scary quiet.
They're scary fast and scary
Yeah,
quiet.
yeah,
you don't hear them at all.
I yelled at some kids. I went by on the electric bike, and the first time I went by, and they like stopped playing ball and looked at me, and I'm thinking, oh, there's no sound. They're freaking out. So on the way back, I yelled, "I'm on an electric motorcycle!" Like I still had drag bikes. It was hilarious. The mother's like, "What the hell is he yelling at us for?" But yeah, that's a good subject because the electric motorcycle, you can hear it take off, but you can't hear it pull in.
No.
So those are scary, right?
Whisper quiet, no doubt about it. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and James, tell us, what do you got cooking for this next month? You got any ideas?
Well, I think you asked me that question before. It all depends on what's going on at the moment. And I mean, there have been times I've written articles, I was getting ready to send them in, and then something else triggered off something else. So it's kind of a spontaneous process. Like I said, I always make Ron real happy by doing it right at the last minute, which always thrills him to death. But that's kind of way.
Don't lose any sleep on it there, Nefarious, because Ron does it to me every week here on this show.
Yeah.
I mean, every week.
Some days we don't get told what we're talking about.
DB, when did we get our stuff? Okay, it was
3 minutes till 5.
3 minutes till 5 o'clock. I mean,
yeah. and I'm trying to prepare for my own show at that same time. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, you always get that one little text. It's time. It's like, oh yeah, okay, and then you start coming up with something. But no, there's always something going on in the motorcycle community or legislative wise, or something else that pops up. And unfortunately, the topic this month became pretty prevalent. Probably going to be touching base on it a little bit more later on, with maybe proactive ways of trying to rectify the situation to some degree. Because realistically, it's we're filling a lot of urns with people because of the stupidity, and it's avoidable. Like I said, a lot of it is very avoidable.
Unnecessary.
It's extremely unnecessary. I mean, I think everyone on this program and everyone listening to this program has probably lost somebody or know of someone who has because of this type of stupidity.
Yeah.
Back in my teens, high school friend, 2 weeks after graduation.
Wow.
Yep. Oh. Yep. It happens. I think you're right, Nefarious. You're right. Absolutely. If anybody's been around long enough, you know somebody that it has happened to.
My best friend's dad when she was 13.
Yep.
That was rough.
DB?
Well, he wasn't. It didn't. He actually didn't kill him, but it broke about 6 ribs, his collarbone. Of course, had to put pins in his shoulder because somebody pulled out in front of him. Yeah. Just that quick.
Rob?
I fell out of a tree.
Wait, with the motorcycle?
Well, I was trying to yank it up there like Tarzan. No, what a lot of people don't know is I had a serious. I broke my back, my wrist, and my ankle, my jaw, all in 1997. So I retired from the motorcycle business pretty much for like almost 15 years. That's why there's a big spot where I'm missing, because I did all the stuff in the 80s and 90s, and it's like, where were you last year, or whatever. So now I'm getting back into it. But I was playing in a tree, and the tree branch broke, and I landed on the ground. I got up and walked away, so that hurt. An hour later, had to go to the hospital, had a broken back and broken wrist. So,
Lord.
Yeah, so I'm really careful on a motorcycle. In that damn tree, I wasn't though. And it's
Think trees, people. Think trees.
Healing. Everybody has to forget healing is the hard part, man. Because they put you on drugs and you're not thinking straight, and you got several years you got to go through to get back to normal, even if you survive the accident. So that's the other side of it too. Nobody needs to go through that kind of stuff. Whether it's
there's that whole aftermath that people don't even, they remember, an incident or something happened on that corner, but they don't think about the long-term process, that person who either, who survived it, or even as much the family that's been affected by it. And that's a real big one. Even, this is something I tried to tell some people before, is even the ones that are riding, is that what you do, is going to affect way more people than you ever imagined. I mean, you've got family, you got friends, you got acquaintances, people that you hung out with, people that have met you at events, and something happens like that, and it's like, oh yeah, I remember that guy. And so it affects people in such a way. I know with my incidences, with the things that have happened with me over just the past couple of years, have started me rethinking a lot of things. I mean, there are people who flat out said, it's too dangerous to ride in Florida, I'm not riding anymore. So, with that mentality, it's just like, that's not being proactive to help stop it. That's not trying to help it, get any better. It's just giving up. And we can't give up on this. This is something that we really need to be diligent about.
I agree.
Absolutely. I got one for you guys. Charlie Brechtel. How about that? The guy had just finished a major motion picture, a biker movie that was all about the blues, because he was a blues musician, and it was this great movie called Rough Boys. That's it's still going to be out. They're going to have it out before Sturgis time. But this guy had it all going on, and he was one of the great ambassadors for riding motorcycles, and was out with a couple of his friends riding their bikes. Had a great day. He wasn't stoned. He wasn't drunk. He didn't have anything like that going on. They all said goodbye. And we're going home, and bam, I didn't see him. We've all heard it too many times, and it affects everybody around you. It affects, basically, it affects all of us one way or another.
Well, we always have a community drive when somebody has a bad accident.
Yeah.
So if you're part of the community, everybody reaches out and tries to help and has the benefits, and that's a good thing too. But still, it's. I guess we all need to be wearing an orange siren on our helmets or something.
Yeah,
it's tough out there. You can never. On the way here, I always tell myself, if you downshift past that car, you're just a dumbass. So I slow down now. But I'm not 23 anymore either.
Right.
But it just goes back to the mentality. Just take your time. You get there and have fun. Do the burnouts on July 24th at the Motor Fest.
There you go. There you go.
Anything else you want to add there, Nefarious, or?
No, pretty much. I was just, like I said, listening to what the game ideas and whatnot. I mean, we used to put on a motorcycle rodeo for A-Bait here in Florida, and we used to have a really good turnout with it. And it was all games of skill. It wasn't real high speed stuff, but it made people actually have to be able to control their machine. We actually had people who would practice months in advance just to go and do it, because you get bragging rights for it. I mean, we got a group here in Sarasota, Bradenton area. The same 4 or 5 guys would show up every single time, including the guy over in Miami. He was always participating and always looking forward to it. So there's a lot of incentive other than I mean, I love the belt buckle idea. We were going to use it at one time. There are a lot of manufacturers out there that you can touch base with, and like you pointed out, biker jewelry companies and whatnot. Bragging rights sometimes is better than cash in the pocket, because believe me, he's going to let everybody know that he participated, he did something with it. That's not going to show up till the next one.
Yeah, that's really true. That's really true. And so, do you know? I mean, I know it's going to be in July, but do we know, what is it going to cost for people to get in, or any of that kind of stuff yet? Is there going to be camping?
I'm sure I've already talked to the boss about that. The ranch, there will be, we can allow primitive camping from that standpoint. That's not a problem. I know Ron, I don't want to speak for Ron. Ron was talking about there being either parking and then free admission, or admission including parking. I'm not sure how he's actually working that, but I mean, I think we're probably talking somewhere and again, don't quote me on this, but $5, maybe $10, but I think he's working around the $5, for the parking there, and just, come on in and enjoy yourself there.
That's why I'm trying, that's why I'm stuck with the idea of it's an invitational. It's not a race, because when you have two guys racing, there's always an argument about something. So we wanted to keep it as an invitational where we're just inviting everybody to come out. Then next year, if we get do a 2-day event, we can start, scoping it off, making it worth some money, put some money up for the trophy prizes and stuff like that. But James, I wanted to ask you, are you going to be helping out with the bike show?
Yeah, Ron asked me if I'd help out with stuff around. I told him I wouldn't have a problem with that, so I'll definitely be on on scene there. Yeah, because I'm looking forward to it actually myself. It's been a long time since the last rodeo has been running around here, and I know a lot of people have always asked me about it. At one point, I thought about putting one on anyway because people just enjoy it.
Yeah,
I mean, we used to just end up doing it where it was like a blanket, $5 a person, and then everyone can participate. You don't have to pay an extra fee or nothing like that. And then we ended up doing a side one. Like the slow race always seemed to be a big one around here.
Yeah,
and we used to just tell them, look, here's the thing, we'll put up a collection. Winner gets the money. Yeah, and then you get it. Then you get even more. And I know that thought was I've never heard Nick or mentioned about about the potato in the hay.
Yeah.
I know one of the things we did because people get shy, they don't want to get out there in front of everybody and whatnot. So I remember one year I took my billfold, I emptied it out, I put $20 in it, and I said, "He who finds it gets to keep it." But I want my billfold back.
And it ain't worth it. I know them guys.
It can get pretty rough in that pile.
No doubt, especially with the girls with the potato. But we're gonna have. I'm gonna call it the dry games, which are like the pavement games, which would be the weenie bite. The balloon toss or whatever it is, stuff like that. So the guys that are thinking about maybe coming here and then competing, we will have a dry area where you just pull up on your motorcycle and put your girlfriend on back, try to bite the weenie, try to put the tennis balls on the cones and stuff like that. So and then of course the dirt stuff's all a whole different deal. We hope we get some guys come out here to try attempt that barrel race, because that's really cool event, watching them guys slide around that. So.
Yeah, I remember back when we used to go over and to the show. In fact, we used to go to Chillicothe every once in a while when I was up there, and you always like the beer keg roll and the barrel races. Those were always fun to watch because then you really get people getting into it, and some get into it a little bit more than others, and it just becomes real entertaining for everybody there.
I changed the rules on the barrel race when I showed up at Easy Rider. They had it for a 5-second penalty. And I said, you know what? The guy goes around the first cone, he falls down on his bike, and he has no reason to try to pick it up and try to finish the race because he's got a 5-second penalty.
Yeah.
So let's make it a 1-second penalty, so at least they pick the bike up and try again. And it really works because it's very entertaining because they don't give up. They just, pick the bike up and go, because 1 second's not that big of a deal, but 5 seconds, you might, you
might as well give up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the big thing is the entertainment value. I mean, not only for those participating, but for those watching it. And it'll end up bringing in more people to even just watch the show because, I mean, there's so few of them around to be able to go and do that anymore. And, I mean, I used to have a blast with it, even though I spent most of the time getting ready to run it and then working my ass off all day for it. It was still, it was still fun to watch, even off on the side. And the weenie bite was always a really good deal. The balloon toss over the weenie bite bar was always fun because someone was always going to get wet no matter what.
I think that's entertainment there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Watch your buddy get soaked. And we can even put different colors in the water.
Well,
that way you're marked.
Exactly. Like always, the show ends way too quickly. An hour has come by.
Fun.
I know, but we'll do it again next Thursday evening. Want to thank Dave Nichols, editor-in-chief, Nefarious James, for being in the on the line, and want to thank Rod from R&R.
R&R Cycles, 352-206-0699. Call me up if you got some questions. We'll help you get set up so you can come out and play with us.
Sounds like a plan.
Thanks, Rob.
See
Skylar.
Dave.
Skylar from FTW.
Yep,
Don't forget.
Okay. Thanks, guys. And as always, everyone, stay safe, keep it in between the ditches, and be careful out there. Till next week.
Born to ride.
Good night, everybody. Have a great one.
All right.
If Instagram is your thing, we're there. We're everywhere. Follow us at #Born to Ride Motorcycle Media, your #1 motorcycle resource.
Yeah, I have to say, Born to Ride has been a big influence on my trailer sales in the last 2 or 3 months. It's been nothing but a big surprise. I mean, the magazine articles, everything in the commercials, it's been nothing but the best of help to me in my business.
Is your business becoming invisible? Create a great advertising relationship today with Born to Ride. Call 888-795-5779.
This is the Boss Hogg Radio Network. 1170 AM WKFL Bushnell. 1330 AM WWAB Lakeland Plant City. 1360 AM WHNR Cypress Gardens Winter Haven. And 1390 AM and 107.5 FM WAVP and W298BU FM Avon Park.